Hey my friends, Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. Recently Nissan invited me out to Carmel, California to test drive the new 2017 Pathfinder. It's got new styling, more power, and of course more features. My first driving impressions coming right up. Now the first thing I want to get out of the way is the Pathfinder used to be a truck-based SUV, and I still hear a lot of you comment about the fact that they got away from that and now it's a car-based crossover that's the engine sits sideways in the front of it, and it's really for soccer moms. And Nissan knows this. In fact, that was really their plan, to be quite honest with you, because what they'll tell you is they made the right choice here. Not only have most of the competitors gone that direction, but now the sales have exploded on the Pathfinder compared to the old truck-based SUV. And what they tell me is most of these vehicles are sold to families with kids, and in those cases, the female buyer makes most of the buying decisions. That's just a hard, cold fact. But they do listen to the buyers. They do hear the comments about it's not for guys anymore. So what they've done here is they've restyled it this year with a little bit more of a masculine look, and that goes to a new front end that has new headlights, a new V-motion grille that's a little bit square, a little bit taller. And the hood's also taller, a new hood. It's got square proportions. It's a little bolder in its overall design. And they finished it off with a new front fascia down low that almost has an off-road character to it. Call it a goatee, if you will. And they continued this out back with new taillights as well as a new lower bumper that mimics some of those styling cues that you see out front. Now, again, what they told me is they know the fact that the female buyer in the equation usually makes most of the choices, but they want the guy to go along with it a little bit easier when they're cross-shopping vehicles. So for him, what they've done is they've given more power. A new 3.5-liter V6 now has 284 horsepower by way of direct injection. Torque, it's also up now at 259 pound-feet. Those two things combined with a consistently variable transmission that's got a little bit of a retune and a mode that lets you feel like you've got a traditional shift do give it quite a bit more power and driving enjoyment. And secondly, what they've done is they've stiffened up the suspension. Shocks now up to 11% stiffer, springs up to 25% stiffer, and they've also retuned the power steering, which is still hydraulic by the way, so it has a lot of good feel, but it's quicker now by about 11%. Now, before I get to the driving, what those two things do, the extra power and that retuned suspension, is they actually raise the towing. Now it's up to 6,000 pounds. They say class leading. So now you can tow a bigger camp trailer, a bigger boat, and, well, maybe even a car trailer with that track car, guys. You can use it to take your car to the track. And the big thing that really comes out of it, too, is that fuel economy, even though there's higher horsepower, now remains pretty much the same as it was before, even with the more stringent EPA regulations that roll in for 2017. Now the driving experience. I got a chance to drive this thing up on the hills outside of Carmel, California, and that's not what you're looking at right here, and that's simply because there were wildfires going on down there and it was foggy at the same time. So smoke and fog. I didn't really get a chance to do a lot of filming and videoing when we were down there test driving the vehicle. So we're looking at B-roll here from Nissan on the test track. But you get the idea. This thing handles so much better with that stiffer suspension. It feels sportier, it feels sharper, the steering's quicker. You definitely feel that, and I really felt that up there on those windy mountain roads above Carmel. The engine, definitely a lot more power. It feels much more competitive than before. It's got a nice sound to it, and even though normally I don't like consistently variable transmissions or the CVT, normally I rail against them. This one works very well with the V6. You can actually get some traditional feel out of it by shifting manually, and it just really gives you something more than the normal CVT. So they've really sharpened their pencil here, I think. Now when you're sitting inside, you're going to notice they've actually sharpened their pencil in there as well. There's new finishes in there, particularly on the top end trim grade. You've got a new wood finish in there that looks pretty nice. It's pretty classy looking. And they've also added a number of new driver assistance features that now enable it to potentially get that IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus rating when they do a full testing battery on this thing, because now it has not only the smart cruise control, the lane keeping, it has autonomous emergency braking, and that's a very important thing as we go forward, because almost all the vehicles are going to have that, and there will come a point, I believe, that it will be required by law. But the cars that have it now are the ones that can achieve that Top Safety Pick Plus rating, as long as their crash ratings also come out pretty good. Now, if you're a guy that's still off-road minded and you're going, where's my Pathfinder with the frame? relax a little bit. They did just show us the new Armada, the full-size SUV that is based on a truck frame. But stay tuned, because Nissan also told us they have some SUV news coming up this fall. The news, what is it? Well, rumor is it could be a new Xterra or something along those lines. We're just going to have to wait and see. Also, we're going to have a full test drive of this vehicle coming up very soon. When this vehicle comes to our press fleet, we'll have a full week-long, full impressions, full everything that I normally do when I do a test drive. Until then, click on the link right here and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do 1 or 2 test drives a week, plus we have a new video almost every other day. There's always something new, so stay tuned.